Thanks for joining us on News Center. I'm Justin Betti. No protests tonight, the State College Borough Council meeting, but much of the focus remained on that deadly police officer-involved shooting nearly 1 month ago. Continuing coverage now of a bizarre animal abuse case out of Eastern Center County. The man accused of illegally living in an Aaronsburg farm with almost 200 animals was back in court Thursday. Breaking news tonight on News Center. Police confirm a third victim has died, the result of a shooting spree late last night in State College. Breaking news, a jury has reached a decision in the case of a Sykesville man accused of arson. You and I and the rest of the American public can now read the long-awaited and somewhat redacted Mueller report.
You have to keep your family safe.
Florida's Rick Scott issuing yet another warning for residents to evacuate his state as Hurricane Irma barrels towards the Florida coast. Good evening. For WATM News Center, I'm Justin Betti. 5 days and still no motive behind the massacre in Las Vegas, where 58 people were killed, hundreds were injured. It's being considered the worst mass shooting in modern U.S. history. Good evening. For WATM News Center, I'm Justin Betti. Our Crispin Havener joins us now. Can you explain how close this all happened to students?
Thanks, Jack. And part of that concern is that it's finally starting to feel a lot like winter outside. News 8 meteorologist Dr. John Scala is here to talk about that cold weather moving through the Susquehanna Valley.
That full forecast, Justin, is coming up.
Thanks, John. In Lebanon, an abandoned home went up in flames for the third time in just the past few months and has now been basically torn down. That is News 8's First 11 at 11 coming up. The biggest cyber threat in 2016 could be in the palm of your hand.
Straight ahead on News Center, a former State College parking attendant is accused of stealing from parking meters. And they say he stole how much in coins?
Next on News 8, one of the best college football players in the country was ejected from the Fiesta Bowl. Mike will show you why.
So get ready for that.
Even teens possible.
Even teens,
wow.
Yeah.
That does it for News 8 at 11. Thank you for watching. Tonight's show starring Jimmy Fallon. His next guests include Will Smith.
Friday Night Zone, brought to you by 5-star Mitsubishi Altoona.
Welcome to The Zone. Believe it or not, it's the final week of the high school football regular season. And tonight, Bellefonte finally got to play a true home football game at their newly renovated Rogers Stadium. And they welcomed in their biggest rival, Bald Eagle area. It's our game of the week.
Play of the day comes from the Easter Bunny? It's actually Penn State football coach James Franklin. He and his family host an event for some local children around Easter. Franklin thought it'd be nice to have the Easter Bunny make an appearance and apparently spear a piñata of an Easter Bunny.
We're right in downtown Midland, right along the Tittabawassee River, which should be way behind the farmers market back there, which you can see is flooded. Roads are closed throughout downtown Midland. You can see that behind me.
Dr. Rao said she wanted to see what the kids see when they're at the bus stop. And in many cases, you can't see much until you get to the corner with massive snow piles blocking your line of sight. And in other cases, the snow actually blocks the sidewalk, forcing kids to walk on the street.
High grass is a bit of an issue in Flint. We'll meet some people who are taking the matter into their own hands coming up.
We're here on Gilbert Road, which is blocked and closed for good reason right now. We've got some power lines and telephone lines down, which I've been told have been clipped. They're not live. There's also trees down. Folks here tell me they are without power.
The website Real Clear Politics keeps track of election polls, and by comparing their polling average to past election results, you can see how far off they were and if they were consistently off one way or another.
Starting Route 2, Ski Round Top.
Apple's map app for the iPhone says the best way to ski Round Top is through Beaver Creek Road.
Turn right onto Beaver Creek Road north.
The problem is, you can't get there that way.
Now, we're using Apple's map app to get to Round Top, and it still says we have 0.7 miles before the next turn onto Telemark Road. But if you look to see where Telemark Road is, that's nowhere you'd want to go.
Sometimes you feel safe for a while. You kind of let your guard down. The wires have just been chopped out. And then it happens to you one house. Missing all kinds of aluminum. And another one. Broken cast iron from the vent pipe. And another one. They've taken some copper plumbing, and the water couldn't be shut off.
This house has shown up on YouTube several times.
And this is what it looks like after somebody's broken into the house.
He is an intimidating presence between the pipes. He is a three-time league champion. He is 74 years old.
I'm Richard Shank, name Shank.
While the obstacles vary, the one thing that is a part of every Spartan race is the spear throw. If you miss, You gotta do 30 burpees. This could take a while.
It did not work out as I expected at all.
He's not kidding, it's not easy. So after a few failed attempts, I enlisted some help. Maybe it's just not for everyone.